Tzu Chi volunteers in Myanmar prepare to hold an aid supply distribution for flood victims in Sagaing. Young volunteers in Malaysia practice diligently for the upcoming Buddha Day ceremony. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Siri. Thank you for joining us. Last year, Myanmar experienced the worst floods in 40 years. Earlier this year, Tzu Chi volunteers went to Sagaing province to survey the disaster area. And they found out the victims have not received any help. Therefore, they plan to hold a supply distribution in mid-May. In preparation, 200 tons of rice and 12,000 blankets have recently arrived in Yangon.
Myanmar was faced with the worst floods of the past 40 years, but without enough manpower, Tzu Chi volunteers could only focus on giving help to the residents in Tzu Chi and Maobi in Yangon province last year. As Tzu Chi volunteers are carrying out a midterm plan for these two places, they dispatched people to investigate the disaster in Sagaing. After received the name list, Tzu Chi volunteers will plan a distribution.
We have received 200 tons of rice and 12,000 blankets from Taiwan.
One business person in Yangon lent his warehouse to Tzu Chi volunteers for free to store these supplies. 12 Tzu Chis came to clean up the warehouse.
We came to clean this up for the rice and blankets from Taiwan. This warehouse hasn't been used for a while, so it's hard to clean it up, but we're doing it happily.
The disaster area is 600 kilometers away from Yangon. So after these supplies have arrived in Yangon, the volunteers are planning to hold a distribution in mid-May.
The trip is very long and some areas are very remote, and the transportation isn't convenient. But yesterday we found a transport company, and they're willing to deliver the goods for us to the disaster area.
The relief supplies have been delayed for months, but they still carry the same love and will be shipped to those in need. After the recent earthquake in Ecuador, Tzu Chi volunteers have finished surveying disaster areas in Manabi province. They're laying out a relief plan for seriously damaged areas in Manabi, which will be carried out soon. Tzu Chi volunteers came to Pedernales, a major city in northern Manabi, on the third day of their investigative tour. The earthquake damaged 1,400 buildings, flattening 250 of them. 80% of the population in the city, or 45,000 people, have been affected by the earthquake. The city now has 20 tent areas for people to take shelter. Many residents don't want much. They only want roofs over their heads.
Pero fue cosa material, porque de familiar, gracias a Dios, lo que pasó.
We've lost everything, but thank the Lord. All my family are okay. We can sleep anywhere, but we need a roof, a mattress, and a bed sheet.
Techo, colchonetas, sábanas para abrigarse.
Tzu Chi volunteers have traveled over 900 kilometers in the past 4 days to investigate many disaster areas. While they are in Kanoa to evaluate a possible distribution site, they met Dr. Alexis Gilles, the lawyer for the Ecuadorian president.
But as a personal opinion, I think this is the worst case scenario of the earthquake. Then hopeless, because this town dedicated almost everyone to tourism. The towns that were dedicated to commerce, fisheries, they are improving, they are getting better, they are fighting for themselves. But this town, as you can see, is absolutely alone. You feel very sad. I feel very sad for these people. I hope that they are going to recover. If the Tzu Chi Foundation can help them to recover the hope in order to stay here, that will be very good.
Xian Miaohong, representative of Taiwan's office in Ecuador, has been helping Tzu Chi volunteers to meet government officials. She has been translating Spanish for the volunteers.
看到了这样的一个重大灾难，
When I saw this major earthquake, I wanted to offer my strength to help the victims. I want to give them humanitarian help.
在人道的援助上面能多协助他们一点。
One important figure in the Tzu Chi team is Huang Yuekai, a Taiwanese businessman who has been working in Ecuador for 33 years. He is determined to give back to Ecuador.
目前挖到的尸体有95个。
They've dug out 95 bodies, but they believe there are more that haven't been found, so there's a horrible smell now.
Tzu Chi volunteers are now in Ecuador giving sincere love and embrace every wounded heart. They have vowed to return as quickly as possible.
In the history of Tzu Chi, after Tzu Chi Nursing School's groundbreaking ceremony took place in 1988, the school anthem became the first Tzu Chi song. Then in the following decades, many musicians took up the task of creating Tzu Chi songs, giving Buddhist music a whole new definition. In today's Tzu Chi's 50th anniversary series report, we'll look at the development and healing power of Tzu Chi songs.
The busy street scene of Taipei on Saturday night looks like a contrast to the spiritual lesson being carried out inside the National Police Agency.
Back then, I stayed at home, not wanting to see any visitors. I refused to have people coming to my house.
Why would this tragedy befall me? I kept thinking that there's no tomorrow for me.
一直想没有明天。
Sometimes he appears in my dreams at night. Then, I hope that I do not wake up.
梦都不要醒。
Having been through trials in life, they have come here to heal their wounds. Tzu Chi Police Association's choir practices every week, not only to improve its members' singing, but also to help them cope with their loss.
We need to work even harder in the face of adversity. Then you can proceed towards the bright side. Therefore, you could say that our Tzu Chi Police Association's choir is like a love boat.
While singing, the choir members express their feelings through every sentence and word.
Having experienced trauma, I know what the wounded need. In fact, they only need companionship.
当我无助的时候，
When I feel helpless, they give me strength and a sense of direction.
给我力量，可以给我方向。
These Tzu Chi songs carry with them the power to heal.
有些人在歌词里看到生命的安顿。
Some people find peace of mind in the lyrics. It's also very important that music itself affects the feelings of its listeners.
生命的情境某种的情怀里面。
Songs refresh people's memories and helps denote periods of history. The 9/11 terror attack widened the gap between the Islamic world and Western countries. Back then, Mr. Zheng Yan reminded everyone that disasters should awaken our awareness and launched the goal Spread the Seeds of Love campaign. And the process, the song Love Heals the World was created.
写词句歌有一些基本上的一些。
In writing Tzu Chi songs, we'll take into consideration the tempo and instruments. We look for what calms people down. The key to writing the lyrics is emphasizing positive values.
阐述的是一个比较正面的价值。
To spread Buddhist principles, many musicians incorporate Master Zheng Yan's teachings into popular songs. So Tzu Chi music can become popular music. Taiwan's Buddhist music went through different stages since 1990s, including Buddhist praise, Tibetan Buddhist chants, and songs created by composers.
其实更广义的来讲，就是道与寓意的结合。
In the broader sense, we are combining the Dharma and art. The composer must first understand the Dharma, even studying it to grasp the core values. Then he could create works that resonate with the audience.
核心的精神，再有让人家起共鸣，跟人家感受，又是另外一个挑战了。
完声乐团要谁来打鼓呢？等一下大家找看看，如果你找到了，就给他热烈的掌声。
Now there is even an a cappella performance, an innovative way to spread the teachings, giving religious songs a brand new sound.
我们在演唱这些歌曲的时候，也
As we sing these songs, we sing with our care and love for humankind. It is a way we can serve God.
上帝在使用我们的方式。
不管我们的宗教是怎么样不一样的宗教，我们的种族是如何不同的种族，我们的肤色是不一样的，但是我们之间只要有爱，我们都是一家人。因为我们是一家人，相信彼此都感恩。
The new generation of Tzu Chi's Buddhist music has a brand new look now. Music bridges the distances between people and continues to heal wounds, proving the power of love.
The Tzu Chi Malaysia chapter will be holding its Buddha Day celebration on May 8th, attended by thousands of participants. While Tzu Chings will be playing the drums at the opening and closing ceremonies, Tzu Shaos are responsible for the change of formation. These young people have been practicing diligently, ready to present the beauty of religion at the celebration.
50 Tzu Chings from Tzu Chi Malaysia chapter gathered to learn as they will be performing at the opening and the ending of this year's Buddha Day celebration. The coach often says they aren't in unison, so they must keep practicing, but they don't mind because they want to practice until 50 of them can perform in unison.
Actually, I can't understand these musical notes. If I must be in that 50-member drum team, I'll work hard. I have been coming to every practice, and until today, I feel it's quite good.
Another team of young people focus on changing the formation.
I'm grateful that the children and their parents from our humanities school are responsible for changing the formation.
They tie blue cloths on their wrists and pull them up and down following the music.
Remember to keep your hands underneath the blue cloth, or people will see them.
Everyone in Tzu Chi is working together to demonstrate the beauty and ethic of Buddhism to the general public at the Buddha Day ceremony.
Next, we meet Tzu Chi volunteer戴素莲in Beitou of Taipei City, who lost the ability to walk after falling. Meeting Tzu Chi volunteers, she eventually joined the rank of recycling volunteers, while her husband also gave up his bad habits after joining Tzu Chi. Dai believes that embracing the Dharma has changed her entire family.
The sound of plastic bottles being flattened is a sound Dai Sulian is very familiar with. The sound also reminds her of the vow she made over 10 years ago, when she decided that if she were ever to walk again, she would become a volunteer.
I said, if heaven ever gave me the legs to walk and the hands to work, then my first step would be to volunteer. So here I am.
Even with her own heartfelt wish realized, she still never expected that she would also influence her husband to become a volunteer as well.
Originally, I told him Tzu Chi volunteers don't smoke, drink alcohol, or chew betel nuts. How can you really think you could be a volunteer? Then he told me, well, I could quit smoking and chewing betel nuts, then I could join Tzu Chi with you, right?
In the past, her husband also said awful things, and Miss Dai responded similarly. In her notebooks, she used to write plenty of unkind thoughts, but over time, her writing has turned positive.
Being around all these devoted Tzu Chi sisters, they really influenced me to change my thinking. My writing these days is full of love. Eventually, I think this was what made my husband change and join Tzu Chi as well.
Recognizing how her life has changed, Miss Dai is grateful.
I believe embracing the Dharma has really changed my whole family. I'm so thankful to Master Zhen Yan for helping me and my family. That's why I celebrate the Buddha today.
In the past, most cadavers used by medical schools in Taiwan were anonymous and unclaimed individuals. However, with the encouragement of Master Zhen Yan, more people became willing to donate their bodies after passing for the advancement in medical research and studies. In our next report, we'll look back at how Tzu Chi initiated the so-called Silent Mentor program, which changed people's perspective on body donation.
This is a Tzu Chi Medical University anatomy lesson. This teacher leads students in an important lesson on the value of human life.
She really looks like my grandmother. Every time I talk to her, I really think of my grandmother.
Going back to 1994, when the Tzu Chi Medical College was founded, the majority of corpses in Taiwan were anonymous and unclaimed individuals. At that time, an average of 20 students would work on one cadaver.
At the time when I came back to Taiwan, there was a very negative view of working on cadavers. Local culture simply couldn't accept this, and it became a major obstacle for medical students. Later, Master Zhen Yan understood the importance of this and quickly allowed us to overcome our traditional views of this matter.
To encourage more cadaver donations, Master Zhen Yan said the living only had the right to use our bodies, but not unlimited rights for eternity. In the winter of 1994, a telephone call came from Mrs. Lin Huimin in Zhanghua.
他就说，我打电话给慈济医学院的李明亮院长，告诉他。
She said, I called Tzu Chi Medical College Principal Li Mingliang and grant him the use of my body after I die. I grant the use of my body to be used in Tzu Chi Medical College's anatomy class. I was sad, as my mother had just passed away, and her body was given to a medical college for students to dissect and study.
学生的手术刀底下千刀万剐。
Ms. Lin Huimin became the first cadaver donor and an important teacher to these students on September 17, 1996. And thus, this anatomy teacher at Tzu Chi Medical College began something different from any other medical school in the world. The sacrifice of silent mentors led to a truly heartfelt lesson in anatomy. Master Zhen Yan often says that a good doctor and nurse shows the mercy of Buddha. The history of Taiwan's East Coast following the arrival of the nationalist government saw many foreign missionaries travel throughout Taiwan on medical missions. In 1948, a Christian medical team was the first to enter the Hualien and Taidong area.
Many Americans came as a part of the MCC, Mennonite Central Committee, which undertakes relief work all over the world. They come to do relief work.
In 1954, the Mennonite Christian Hospital was founded in Hualien, along with a nursing school.
At that time, Hualien did not have a nursing school, and Tzu Chi had yet to begin. The government didn't support such religious-based education programs, so our nursing school didn't receive accreditation.
At that time, the Education Ministry mandated high schools and vocational schools must offer courses in military training. This conflicted with Christian ideals, and in 1976, this Mennonite nursing school closed. After accumulating 10 years of experience helping the poor and destitute, in 1979, Master Zhen Yan decided to build a hospital, as well as initiate medical education. In 1986, the Hualien Tzu Chi Hospital began to operate, and in 1989, Tzu Chi's nursing school was established, ending 13 years of no nursing programs in Hualien and Taidong. Jin Shuizhen was the first student to enroll in Tzu Chi's nursing program.
In elementary school, when I wrote an essay, I said that my dream was to become a nurse. During our generation, having another option was a very big thing for those in our tribe.
From cultivating nurses at home to going overseas for similar endeavors, Tzu Chi has passed on teachings based on virtues, allowing many students to find the right direction in life.
New Taipei City's Ruifang was once a thriving area when the coal mining business was strong. However, in recent years, there has been an exodus of young people, leaving seniors living alone in the area. As these seniors are in need of some care, TIMA members regularly hold free clinics to help the sick and poor.
41-year-old Mr. Lee is paralyzed from the waist down due to his heavy weight of 160 kilograms. It's difficult for him to seek medical care.
They don't have adequate resources here, so he has delayed seeking treatment for his paralysis from last December until now. Today, TIMA doctors are here to check up on his condition, and they'll see if he needs further treatment at the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital. He's still young, so perhaps there are treatments available for him.
After evaluation, doctors deemed that Mr. Lee needed immediate treatment at the Taipei Tzu Chi Hospital. Thus, 6 males were recruited to help carry him to the car. This is TIMA's regular free clinic held in New Taipei City's Ruifang. Many of the seniors the doctors are checking upon rely heavily on medication, but what they need more than pills is companionship.
It's good to come look after them. If they can live each day happily, that's more important than anything else.
With happiness in their hearts, ailments are naturally eased. Meanwhile, a group of older volunteers prove that blessings are best when shared with others.
TIMA members are here for a free clinic, so we have gathered to make snacks for everyone. Some wash the vegetables. It's all for the benefit of others.
Working closely with Tzu Chi volunteers, TIMA's regular free clinic can maximize their benefits and look after more medically deprived individuals in remote areas.
In the United States, a group of Tzu Chi alumni from the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign held a gathering on behalf of graduating Tzu Chis. At the occasion, they gave these graduates their best wishes, as well as encouraged them to continue to contribute to society. Meanwhile, Tzu Chis from University of Texas and Texas A&M University joined the annual cultivation seminar at the Tzu Chi Austin Liaison Office. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.